A quick note before we begin. I'm not affiliated with or paid by any companies or products mentioned. All brand names and graphics belong to their respective owners. Everything you're about to hear is just my personal experience and opinions. With that out of the way, let's dive into the 7 AI tools senior developers actually use in 2026. If you're still coding without these 7 AI tools, you're working harder than you need to. These aren't the hyped up gimmicks. These are the ones senior engineers and DevOps teams actually trust in production. I'll show you exactly what they do with live demos, plus my real take on when to use each. Stick around. You'll leave with a stack that saves you hours every week. I chose these 7 AI tools for a reason. They consistently show up in engineering leader reports and developer surveys, not as flashy demos, but as tools teams actually rely on. They offer enterprise-grade security, deep integrations with IDEs and CI pipelines, and they've proven to work at scale. Together, they cover the full workflow: coding, debugging, code quality, and DevOps, without breaking your existing development flow. And the best part, all of them offer free tiers or trials, so you can test everything I'm showing today yourself. Let's start with GitHub Copilot. At this point, it's the default AI pair programmer in most serious engineering teams. It earns that position because it removes friction. Inline completions handle boilerplate instantly, agent capabilities support multi-step tasks, and everything runs directly inside your IDE. No context switching, no extra workflow. The free tier gives you 2,000 suggestions per month, enough to validate whether it meaningfully improves your team's velocity. Where it shines is execution speed. Routine code, repetitive patterns, scaffolding. It's a clear productivity win. Where you still need senior judgment is architecture. Copilot can suggest structure, but it doesn't understand long-term system trade-offs. The Pro plan is $10 per month, and for most teams, that's an easy ROI decision. All right, live demo time. Watch Copilot build a full REST endpoint from scratch. Fresh project, Express installed, new demo server.js. Watch. Type the post stub plus comment. Copilot instantly gives validation, proper status codes, realistic user object with timestamp ID. No try-catch needed here since it's simple CRUD, but see the 400 for bad input? Production ready. Server up. (201) response with complete user object. Working REST API from a blank file, just like that. Copilot handles the routine perfectly. Let's see what else AI can do. Tool number 2, Cursor, the AI-first IDE built for deeper work. Where Copilot accelerates snippets, Cursor operates at a deeper level. It understands your full repository context, which makes multi-file refactoring and larger feature edits far more realistic. Senior engineers appreciate it because you can issue high-level commands like update this entire feature and actually get meaningful, structured changes. And since it's a fork of VS Code, adoption is frictionless. The free tier is more than enough to evaluate it in real-world scenarios. The limitation? It's still maturing when it comes to extremely large monorepos. The Pro plan for Cursor is $20 per month. Let me show you where Cursor really shines. Not just autocomplete, but repo-aware changes across multiple files. npm init, Express installed. I've got a tiny Express app split into two files. The server handles HTTP. User service creates users. Instead of editing each file manually, I tell Cursor what I want across the whole project. I'll ask it to add structured logging everywhere user creation happens. Watch. It scans the entire repo and finds exactly where create user gets called. Perfect. Logs the request body here in server.js. Logs the created user in userservice.js. Both files, one command. I review it. Hit accept. All changes applied instantly. Now every user creation gets consistent logs automatically. That's Cursor. Copilot types faster. Cursor changes real code bases faster. Tool number 3, Claude from Anthropic. Think of it as your architectural rubber duck. Where IDE copilots focus on code generation, Claude shines in reasoning. It's especially strong when you're debugging legacy complexity, debating API design, or asking, why exactly does this crash? It helps you think, not just type. Senior engineers use it for deep analysis, untangling messy logic, reviewing design decisions, and pressure testing architectural trade-offs. The CLI mode also makes it practical for terminal-heavy workflows. The free web tier is perfectly fine for demos and light use. Pro tip, use the desktop app or Claude Code for better speed and flow. At $20 per month, it's less about coding faster and more about thinking better. Let's see Claude at work. Legacy code nightmare. Nobody knows what this payment function does. Copy the whole function to Claude. I ask, explain exactly what this function does, line by line. Now, rewrite with clear logic, same behavior, better names. Copy Claude's clean version, test it. Same result, zero confusion. Tool number 4 is Windsurf. It's an AI-powered editor that feels very close to VS Code, but with AI built in from the start. You get strong autocomplete, an integrated chat assistant, and it really shines at multi-file awareness, refactoring across projects, and generating entire feature implementations from natural language prompts. There's a solid free tier for individual developers so you can try it properly, and they also provide an extension for JetBrains IDEs if that's your preference. The VS Code style experience feels instantly familiar. Alright, let's see Windsurf in action. Watch AI build an email utility from scratch. I add a comment describing what I want. Windsurf instantly generates full validation, trimming, lowercase, null checks, and even regex validation. Now chat generates tests. Vita's test cases with edge cases ready to run. Failing test? Windsurf will fix it. Watch it analyze failures and automatically patch the code. Rerun. Green across the board. Complete utility plus test suite in just a few seconds. Free tier delivers. Tool number 5, Snyk Code, AI-driven security scanning that shifts detection left. This is why DevOps teams trust it. It runs SESD across your application code, dependencies, containers, and infrastructure as code, and it integrates directly into your CI pipeline. More importantly, it focuses on real, exploitable vulnerabilities, not cosmetic linting issues. For open source projects, you can run scans for free. Paid tiers scale with usage, which makes it practical for growing teams that want security embedded into their delivery pipeline, not bolted on at the end. Initial scan, Snyk Code catches code injection instantly. Copilot fixes it, but on a second test, Snyk catches another vulnerability. Second Copilot iteration, Snyk rescan. 0 issues. AI security scanning plus AI fixing. Tool number 6, SonarQube, the gold standard when it comes to code quality gates, now enhanced with AI capabilities. This is why it's everywhere. It runs static analysis that enforces team standards around complexity, potential bugs, code coverage, and maintainability, typically before a pull request is even merged. It automates discipline at scale. For smaller projects, SonarCloud offers a free tier to get started. For teams, you can either self-host the Community Edition or use the cloud version, depending on your governance and compliance requirements. Tool number 6, SonarQube, the gold standard for code quality gates, here in the SonarQube Cloud UI. I'll start completely fresh and hook it up to a GitHub repo. Click Get Started with GitHub, pick my Sonar demo repository, and authorize the SonarQube Cloud app to access just this repo. Back in SonarQube, it creates an organization for me. I choose the free plan, and I'm ready to analyze my first project. I select the Sonar demo repo, click Setup, choose Previous version, and SonarQube kicks off its first analysis automatically. After a few seconds, we land on the summary. For open maintainability issues, but overall, everything still looks green. Let's drill in. I open the maintainability rating, select app.js, and you can see SonarQube has already annotated the code, red underlines in the gutter, with hints like, there is a consistency issue, the code is not conventional. For example, this one says, if statement should not be the only statement in an else block. That's the kind of nuance humans easily overlook, but static analysis catches instantly. Now I want these checks to run from my dev environment as well, not just in the Cloud UI. In VS Code, I install the official at sonar/scan package, and then go back to SonarQube to generate an access token under my account security. With that token, I add a simple npm run sonar script that points to my organization, project key, and code. The first time I run it, SonarQube reminds me I'm trying to do a manual analysis while automatic analysis is enabled. That's actually a good safety net. So I jump back to the project settings, flip automatic analysis off, and now this project is fully controlled by my CI and local scans. Back in VS Code, I run npm run sonar again. This time the analysis completes and the results are pushed to SonarQube Cloud. On the project dashboard, you can see the health snapshot update. Security rating has dropped, and we now have 5 open issues. Clicking the issue count opens the full list. I scroll through and pick one of the if should not be the only statement in an else block findings. On the right, SonarQube shows the code and the explanation inline, right where the problem is. I'll copy that description and take it back into my IDE. In VS Code, I highlight the problematic line so you can see it clearly, paste the SonarQube explanation into GitHub Copilot chat, and simply ask it to fix the issue. Copilot proposes a refactor. I accept the change and run npm run sonar again to validate. Back in SonarQube, the overview refreshes. We're down to 3 open issues. I repeat the process for another if and else block issue, copy the description, ask Copilot to fix it, accept the patch, and trigger one more scan. After that last analysis, The project overview shows just a single issue remaining. I could keep iterating until the quality gate is completely clean, but the pattern is clear. SonarCube sets the standards. AI helps apply the fixes, and every scan gives instant feedback in the dashboard. This is why SonarCube is everywhere. It turns code quality and maintainability into a repeatable gate, enforced automatically long before a pull request is merged. Tool number 7, Amazon Q Developer, AI that actually delivers on DevOps infrastructure. Here's why it stands out. It can generate Terraform, Kubernetes manifests, and Docker files, help debug CI/CD pipelines, and comes with native integrations for AWS and GitLab. There's a free tier directly in the AWS console, and paid usage scales with your infrastructure needs. Here in the AWS console, I start by asking Q to generate Terraform for a complete VPC, public and private subnets, internet gateway, and routing for a small app. Next, I have it write a production-ready Docker file for my node.js service. It sets up a multi-stage build and runs as a non-root user, so it's ready for production. Finally, I ask you to scaffold a GitLab CI/CD pipeline. It creates a .gitlabci.yml that runs tests on every push, then builds and pushes the Docker image on the main branch, wired to my registry variables. All of this comes from natural language prompts, using the free tier of Amazon Q Developer inside the AWS console, and it scales with your infrastructure when you need more. For a minimal 2026 AI setup, here's what I recommend. Copilot or Cursor for your day-to-day coding and multi-file edits. Claude as your thinking partner for debugging, design reasoning, and architectural decisions. Snyk and SonarCube integrated into CI/CD for automated security and quality checks. Amazon Q Developer to handle infrastructure tasks. Terraform, Kubernetes, Docker pipelines. Start with the free tiers to test everything without risk. Add paid plans only as your workflow grows. This combination delivers roughly 80% of AI's practical value for developers without overloading your stack or team. Which of these tools are you already using? Let me know in the comments. Copilot skeptics, Cursor fans, DevOps pros, which infra tool is in your stack? Also, tell me what you want to see next, a deep dive on Cursor versus Copilot, or AI and CI/CD workflows. Hit subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one.